Marketing. Justin, marketing on Wednesday. Is that you?
I don't know.
I think one just came across for marketing on Wednesday. It's not this week?
No, I don't want to miss that.
Oh, no.
I can't miss it.
Let me see.
Remember we did 7th and 8th period?
Who just sent one?
You get a bunch of
Mrs. Tom Pod. It's a University of Akron field trip on 12/11. Not you?
For what class?
It doesn't say what class.
You never know.
It's nobody in here. Now that I didn't read the names. Now that I read it, it doesn't apply to any of my students. Okay. So once again, for those of you who are listening to the video at home, anybody who is going to be absent on Thursday of this week, that's our group quiz. Please make sure you let me know so that I can see if I can get you paired up with somebody else. Anybody who is going to be absent on Wednesday of this week, make sure you watch the 5-9 video so that you are good to go for your group quiz. All right. And just so you guys know, we are going to get off by a day with Miss Burns' class because Miss Burns' class, they don't take their exam the same time we do. My group, let me show you guys, have you seen the exam schedule? So I have an 8th period honors algebra 2 class. So my students will start their exam on Tuesday. So I have to be ready for the exam Tuesday. She doesn't have an exam until like Thursday. So I have to get ready way before she does. Okay, so we're going to do one less thing than she is. So it's all good. So her group test is a day later than ours. So as you talk to her students, they're off a day on us this week. So on Tuesday, periods 1 through 7 are normal classes. Attendance is required. 8th period, attendance is required. It is your 8th period exam. So think about what class you have 8th period, and that's your exam. If you happen to have study hall, it says attendance is required. You need to be in study hall 8th period. You have a lot of studying to do and preparing and getting ready for your exams. Okay? Then Wednesday in the morning, you start the day with the 6th period exam and then your 7th period exam. So I will see you guys bright and early Wednesday morning at 7:28. Okay? Questions on our exam. And then if you don't have a 7th period class, you can leave after my exam. As long as you're caught up, you are done every day by 10:30. Thursday, you take your period 3 exam first thing in the morning. And then you take either 4th or 5th. You either have a class 4th and lunch 5th, or you have lunch 4th and a class 5th. Somebody doesn't have a lunch in this class. Okay, you'll just have to talk to your 4th and 5th period teachers and get that worked out. Okay, so very few students have a class both 4th and 5th period. All right, then Friday, you take your period 1 exam in the morning, period 2 exam after that, and then you're done. Questions? Christmas break? I know. So we will be done like doing anything in this class on Monday of next week, because then on Tuesday, I have exam 8th period. So you guys will just have a study day that day. I'll answer any questions on Tuesday. So we really only have 6 more days together and then your exam. I know, crazy. That's scary, isn't it? Whew. Okay. So today we're going to talk about transformations of polynomials. What do I do if I want to go up 2? What do you do? Plus 2 to the outside. What if I want to go down 3? Minus 3 to the outside. What if I want to go left 5? Plus 5 in parentheses everywhere you see an x. Because now these are polynomial functions. You got lots of x's. Everywhere you see an x. Okay, what if I want to go right 1? Minus 1 in parentheses everywhere you see an x. Okay, what if you want to reflect over the x-axis? If I want to reflect over x, which coordinate do you change? Y. Y is everything. So you put a negative in front of the whole equation. What if I want to reflect over y? Give every x, make it what? Negative x. Okay, vertical stretch by 2. Vertical stretch by 2. Multiply the whole thing equation by 2. Because remember, vertical affects the y coordinate, and y is the whole equation. What if I want to do a vertical compression by 1/3? Multiply the whole equation by 1/3. What about horizontal? Which one does horizontal affect, x or y? So if I do a horizontal stretch by 3, what do I do? 1/3 x to all of the x's. If they have an exponent, they must be in parentheses and then raised to the exponent. Okay, how about horizontal compression by 1/2? Multiply x by 2, each of them. Okay, so these rules have not changed. I'll give you your guided notes here in a minute. These rules have not changed. You guys have seen these. Where did I put my guided notes? Here they are. Okay? They are the same as they have been every single chapter we've learned this year. Just got to apply them a smidge different because now we have a polynomial function. So you got lots of x's here. You got exponents that we got to work with. So we just got a little more work. Please notice, if you guys look up at the homework board, what do you see in this asterisk up there? No graphs. You don't have any graphing to do tonight. Even though the directions might say graph the function, I am not making you graph the function. Okay? So, in your homework tonight, you're going to see this sort of direction. Describe the transformation of f of x equals x to the third, represented by g of x equals x plus 5 quantity cubed plus 2, then graph the function. But we know we're not going to what? Graph. Okay, so we're going to cross that out. So basically, they're just saying what's happening to this graph. And hopefully you guys should be able to know what's happening to this graph. So I'm putting it on the spot. McKenna, what's the plus 5 inside going to make that do? Left 5. And what's the plus 2 on the outside going to make it do? Up 2. This is the first part of your homework tonight. What do you think about that? Love it. Okay. Laura, what about this one? Okay, the minus 3 inside the parentheses makes it go right 3. How about the minus 1 outside? Down 1. Done. How'd you guys do there? Any questions at all? Hey, you guys are like, sweet, flipping it over, moving on. Describe the transformations that are happening here. Now, I will tell you there are 2 of them. What 2 things are being added to x to the 4th? A negative and the 1/4. What does the negative out front make it do? Cash? Good. Reflect over the x-axis. Good. Reflect over the x. If they wanted to reflect over y, it would have to be inside like that. That's reflect over y. Okay? And then how about the 1/4 on the outside here, Caleb? What's that going to make it do?
It's vertical shrink.
Vertical. You have to tell me vertical or horizontal. And he said shrink by what? By 1/4. You have to tell me horizontal or vertical, stretch or shrink, and by what factor. And that is a shrink because it's less than 1. Now, what would it be if it was a horizontal stretch? It would have to be this. I want to show you guys the difference because sometimes you guys get confused. That's a horizontal stretch because it's inside with the what? X. All right. Are we good there? All right. Let's try another one then. All right, Addie, what is the 2 on the inside with the x going to be? Okay, I like the 1/2. But since it's in with the X, it would be what? Horizontal. Do you see? If it was vertical, it would be outside like that. Okay. So it's inside. So it's horizontal. I like that you knew you had to reciprocate it. So it's 1/2. But since it's 1/2, it wouldn't be a stretch. It'd be a shrink. So horizontal shrink by 1/2. Okay, there's my first thing. And then, Ava, what's the -3 going to be? Down 3. Perfect. Questions on A and B here? Okay. Now, write the rule and describe the transformations. So, what is the transformation they want you to do here? The negative is inside with the X. So what kind of a transformation would that be, everybody? Reflect over what? The Y. Reflect over the Y axis because it's in with the X. So what do I have to do to each of these X's? Make them a what? Negative. So my new rule, G of X, is going to be, and again, you have to put those in parentheses and keep your exponents on the outside. Now, I got to clean this up yet, but are you guys okay with how I started this? It's not simplified yet, but I made each of the X's negative X. Now, what's a negative times a negative times a negative? A negative. So this is still negative X to the 3rd. How about the negative X squared? What's negative X times negative X? Squared?
Yeah.
Okay. Positive X squared. You guys see why that's positive? Bring down the, and here is my simplified form for the A. All right, what type of transformation did they ask you to do here? My board must have froze, or did it jump? It jumped. Okay. What kind of transformation is it asking you to do here? Vertical stretch by 3. Vertical stretch by 3, because we're multiplying the whole thing by 3. So they just want you to take G of X, and they say multiply the whole equation by 3. So when you distribute this 3, what do you guys get? 3x cubed plus 3x squared plus 3. All right. So far, are these pretty easy? Okay, it is the next couple that can get a little tricky. Actually, it's not even A, it's B. B that gets a little tricky. Are you guys good so far? You guys are going to have some time to do your homework. Yay. Never happens. All right, let G be a vertical stretch by a factor of 2, followed by 3 units up. All right. Let's see who's going to start me off. Landon, what do you do to do a vertical stretch by 2? Okay, good. A vertical stretch by 2. He says, I'm just going to multiply the whole equation by 2. Now, guys, you might remember when we did this earlier this fall, I always said, and this one's not as big of a deal as the next one's going to be, clean this up before you go on to your next transformation. Simplify this before you do your next transformation. So, Landon, what can I do here?
Just distribute.
And when you distribute, what do you get?
2x to the 4 minus 4x.
Okay, and now when you go up 3, what are y'all going to do? Just do what? Add 3. So that one was not too bad. Just add 3 on the end, and we're done. Now, write small on this next one. All right. Are you guys good with A? All right. So we're going to take 8x to the third plus 3. And we're going to do a horizontal stretch by 2. 3 to the right. Horizontal. So let's do the horizontal stretch by 2 first. Horizontal stretch by 2. Guys, what do? Every x becomes what? Horizontal, flip it, it becomes what? 1/2 x. So, only where you see an x, you put it in parentheses. So, I am going to write 8, and then in parentheses, I have 1/2 x, parentheses, cubed, plus 3. So I'm going to stop there for a minute. Do you guys see how I put the 1/2 x in there? Now we got to think about Algebra 1. We've got to clean this up. Again, always clean it up before you go on to your next step. Order of operations. You guys will mess this up so many times and tell me 4x to the third. No. Do you multiply first or do you do exponents first? Yes, you have to do your exponents first, yeah? What's 1/2 x to the third? Now that means 1/2 x times 1/2 x times 1/2 x. Remember, that means 1/2 x times 1/2 x times 1/2 x. What do you get? 1/8 x to the third. You guys see how we got that? 1/2 times 1/2 times 1/2. 1 times 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. Multiply your numerators, multiply your denominators. Now can I multiply 8 times an eighth? What's an 8 times an eighth? 1. So now I just get x to the third plus 3. Okay, that's better. That's just the horizontal stretch. Now what do I have to do? Well, it wants to go right 3. So come down here. Go right 3. What do we do when we go right 3? You guys mess this up all the time in the fall. Okay, minus, and it has to be what? Parentheses, x minus 3 cubed plus 3. Now, I will tell you to write the answer in standard form. This is not standard form. All of your answers on your homework tonight need to be, just make me smile, need to be written in standard form. What's that mean? That means I need to FOIL this how many times? 3. Holy crap, they say. Don't forget the plus 3 on the end. Oh, I already had AJ waiting in the wings here. AJ, help me FOIL these two. What do you get when you FOIL those two? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Plus 9. Bring down the x minus 3. Plus 3. Now, what are you going to give everything first? What do you get when you give everything an x? I know. AJ's voice changed. What do you get when you, AJ, when you give everything a negative 3?
Negative 3x squared plus 18x minus 27.
Don't forget that. Standard form, combine like terms. G of x equals, can you put anything with x to the third? Negative 6x squared minus 3x squared is 9x and 18x is 27x. Put these guys together, you get what? Done. So, one of these tonight is like huge. There's a ton of foiling. Don't forget to FOIL tonight. We're done. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Here's your homework. You got a lot of time to work on it. I'm going to pass back your quizzes.